Let's have a quick look at the comments on my first impression. Opal Blitz. Yeah. Okay, interesting. Yeah, okay. A suggestion. Oh, okay. We don't need a complete reading of the history included in the instruction manual. Kit reviews should be, oh okay, no longer than it takes for a quick look at the assembly section in the manual, then a look at the individual sprues. I must be doing something wrong. I don't have time for a 53-minute inbox review, and I suspect I'm not alone. I didn't realise there was an instruction book for it and a rule section to go with it. Interesting. Oh, hello there. I think it's table talk time. I think that's a load of Yes, we went to the concert. We saw The Warning in Manchester yesterday, which was 2 days ago your time, because it's Friday right now. I'm recording this Friday lunchtime. And we went to see The Warning at Manchester Apollo 2 last night. So I'm feeling a bit tired, got a bit of a headache, still got ringy ears. Yeah, had a fabulous time. And it was my youngest daughter, Alice, her first ever gig. And she loved it. Yeah, she had a fabulous time. And yeah, The Warning live, absolutely knockout. Much better than many bands. I've seen a lot of bands live. And much better than a number of bigger bands I've seen live. So yeah, phenomenal show they did. Really enjoyed that. But you can see some more of that later on in the video if you're interested. As always, with any video of mine, certainly you can fast forward if there's bits that you're not interested in. So yeah, absolutely. Don't go telling me how to put my videos together, because I do my videos the way that I like to watch videos. And when I watch inbox reviews that last 12 minutes, I feel like it's a waste of time. In fact, I don't even watch them anymore, but I used to. I feel like you're left with more questions than answers. So I do it comprehensively so that you can watch the bits you're interested in and try and cover everyone's needs, because we're all different. Anyway, welcome to this week's Table Talk. For those of you who are new subscribers coming on all the time, thank you very much for subscribing to the channel. It means so much to me. This channel is increasingly about you and how you enjoy watching me do my hobby. We started off with me just building through my stash, and then, you know, it sort of evolved from there. And I love doing the videos as much as I love building models, which is quite something to say, because I've been doing this for a very long time. So welcome one and all. If you're a long-term subscriber, nice to see you back. Today we've got some interesting things to talk about, and we're going to talk about some stuff that's coming up in the way of selling off some kits. Not just mine, and yeah, all sorts of stuff. What we do in this video though is we talk about what's been happening, what's coming up, some other life events that might be of interest to people. I know there are fellow modelers out there and subscribers to this channel who like their rock music, so whilst some of you will be fast forwarding past The Warning, others will enjoy it. So here we go. Let's have a look at what happened this week. And we kicked off the week on Monday with our first airbrush video. So I'm trying to think what I called it now. I had a number of different titles running around my head. I think we went with airbrushing for absolute beginners or complete beginners or something like that. But that's the whole idea. I want to try and get anybody who doesn't use an airbrush to use an airbrush. That's the whole idea. It's a game changer. It doesn't matter if you've been using a paintbrush for 30, 40 years and you're an absolute brilliant brush painter. You can still improve your game, you can improve your model's finish, and you can achieve different effects with an airbrush that you simply would struggle to do with a paintbrush. So yeah, it's a really great tool to master if you can afford it. And what have you. So I know it's not in everyone's pocket, and to be honest, there's certain airbrushes like, do you remember the humber one? I think they still do them actually, where you've got a gas can and you just press the button and it goes on and off. Stick with your paintbrush, to be honest. But if you're considering a proper airbrush, then hopefully those videos will be helpful. Got a lot of love. I set out to correct people who constantly ask what's the best airbrush. There isn't a best airbrush. They're fundamentally the same. What there is different price tags, slightly different features. Yes, you get different quality. I'd always go for a branded brush rather than something non-branded. There's a lot of non-branded ones with big sets with cleaning products and air hoses and stuff. It's not quite the way to go. I don't believe anyway. Having bought one or two of them in the past and had a play, they tend to work to start with, and then you can get problems, and certainly very, very difficult to get spares. So branded ones which have a website that back them up is the way to go. And then, as you saw in that video, build your budget, decide how much you need to spend, and decide how much you've got left for an airbrush, and make your airbrush the last thing you buy, and you won't go wrong. So there you go. It's best airbrush you can buy for the money you've got left, sort of thing. But as I said in that video, there is different brands out there, and some of them, it's a bit like some cars. Some cars, you're paying for the badge more than the car. It always makes me smile when I see people go past in an A-class Mercedes, because they're basically driving a Renault Clio, but they definitely paid a Mercedes price tag. But yeah, it's the same with airbrushes. So shop around, get one that seems to technically fit your needs. So yeah, there you go. And I will leave a link as a reminder to the gallery airbrushes and my discount code, so that if you've not caught up with that video, you can do so. So we have more coming in that series. People are asking, are you going to touch on this? Are you going to touch on that? We're going to do everything. The plan is to take you from, I know nothing about airbrushes, to buying your airbrush, to using your airbrush, to learning how to spray with your airbrush, clean your airbrush, strip your airbrush, and then we will sort of leave you at the end of the series being able to follow what we've talked about in the series, pick an airbrush up, and with confidence use an airbrush, and if something goes wrong, you've got a pretty good idea what that is. That's the whole aim. I'm not saying I'm an expert at airbrushing. I'm really not. What I'm saying is I will get you to where I feel I am, which is competent. Yeah, I can do camouflage schemes freehand. I can do tiny details with an airbrush, and I can do weathering effects with an airbrush. So I consider myself competent. You know, I can do pretty much everything that's requested of me. I'm not an artist. I don't use them all the time. I'm not an expert. There's things I don't know, and there's definitely people with more skills than me. But I will take you from, I don't know anything about it, and get you to the point where you understand what's going on and why, including when things go wrong. So we will do that over several videos. The next video will be coming along soon, but we'll talk about future plans in a bit. So that was Monday. Wednesday, then we had that beautiful hurricane kit from Armour Hobby, courtesy of Gary. Thank you very much again, buddy. Really nice review. It was a real joy, and it made me think, oh, I need to buy that kit, but I've held off because I have the Armour Hobby Hurricane in tropical, and you know, there's only so many hurricanes you can do, and I've already built a hurricane tropical, the Airfix one, which I really enjoyed. What I want to do is build the other one and put them side by side and see what I think. Be really interesting, because there's certainly a different in cost. The Airfix one will cost you at least a third less. So yeah, but a stunning, well presented kit, and the 3D printed parts, you know, it just adds a level of detail to them. So very, very nice. Enjoyed reviewing that, and Gary, you're going to have a whale of a time when you come to build that. So that was that, and then last night, which is last night, which is tonight for me, you should have had Scharnhorst 10, and that was the first episode of Scharnhorst where we've really got to grips with the new camera, and you can see the difference. We managed to get right up close. We're in 4K. I think we're in 4K. If it's less than 4K, it's because there was a mix of video possibly in there. But going forward, it'll all be 4K. So it's a bit of a double-edged sword, because when I get you up close, you see how scruffy everything is, which when you're seeing things from further away, it looks far better. But we all understand that, you know, you can see all the sanding marks and stuff, but of course when it's painted up and things, you won't, and we will buff a lot of that out and stuff. But yeah, it's nice for you to get in and see what I'm doing and what have you. So that was great. We did weld seams, we did rivets, and we did photo etch. So if you've sort of drifted away from the Scharnhorst because it's just hull mods, I think that was a more interesting one. And we're sort of at the painting stage of the hull now. So that leads next nicely onto what happened on the modelling bench. Well, on the Scharnhorst, we masked off the boot line. So I think previously you'd seen we had paint down ready for the boot line. So we'd sprayed the dark grey paint on. That's all masked off. It's a job I hate. It's a real horrible job. Making sure that line's straight. The bigger the model, the worse it is as well. But making sure that's straight, then getting it around the stern and getting the curve right. Very, very difficult. I have not found a solution that satisfactorily works to perfection. So I've used a bit of Tamiya bendable tape, but it doesn't stick very well, and it's not great. It's an improvement, but it's not great. We still need a better solution for curves. But anyway, that's masked up. This weekend is Scharnhorst weekend, so we will be putting down paint, and the plan will be to put the white down on the stern and the bow next, and then let all that dry, mask it off. Then we'll be doing the lower hull, and then we'll finish with the dark grey on the rest of the hull. And that's basically doing lightest paints first, but I have to do that boot line so that we can mask off the edges of that nicely. So that's sort of the plan. That's because I'm using enamels and that we're masking. I leave it longer than I would do with acrylics to make sure I don't lift the paint. So I have a really hard surface when it's dried. But what we will be doing is painting a bit of that, and then we'll be jumping back onto the B17. So usually I do one project at the weekend and then something else. but I feel like I can do a bit of both at the moment. Alternatively, if I'm not in the mood for the B17, because it's annoying me a little bit at the minute, we'll talk about that in a sec, then I might do some of the deck fittings and things that we start needing to do on the Scharnhorst and start prepping those up. So we might start doing some actual building on her, which would be lovely, as we're, you know, nearly 5 months into the year, so therefore, you know, 5 and a bit months into the build, and we're still on the damn hull. So yeah, B17, what's annoying me about the B17 is this. Yes, the ball turret. I've not been able to get mine together without a whopping great gap. So yeah, as you can see, I've painted it green so that we've got the interior colour laid down first, and it's got all the masks on. But I'm going to have to do some filling and sanding, which is really annoying because that might come through on the inside of the turret. We will see. Otherwise, it's going really nice. We started building up the wings, so we've got the assembly for the landing gear in the engine nacelle there on, but I didn't get much done one way or another. We went to the zoo on Sunday, which was our first sort of trip out post-winter, and that ate into my modelling time a little bit, but we're all feeling a little bit housebound, and I work in the kitchen, I do my hobby in the kitchen, so if you're not careful, it starts to feel like a bit of a prison. So really important to me that we get out and get some fresh air every now and then. So we did that on Sunday, and that just ate into modelling time. But I should have a good run at things this weekend. So that's sort of where we are on the modelling front. But as you can see, we've got some stash ads to talk about. So let's talk about the Airfix Walrus first. So 1/48 scale Supermarine Walrus Mark 1. I said to myself when they did the announcements at the start of the year of what they were releasing, although I suspect there's more to come, I said to myself, I'm not going to buy this. And the reason is I've already built it. I built it in its silver wings, which was the second release of this kit. And this is the third release of the kit. And let me just tell you when it was tooled in 2017. So yeah, I built it as the silver wings and it was beautiful. Really, really nice kit. I have got a build video, the whole build in one video. So you can, if you go onto my page and search for Walrus, you'll find it. And I used the Edward interior set and went to town with it, had some quick boost stuff added onto it. I think lights, and I'm fairly sure it was an exhaust or something like that that we added. Anyway, when I'd finished with it, virtually none of it was visible. So don't go getting the interior detail set. It's just a waste of money. Spend the money on another kit. So yeah, it looks stunning when it's done, and I did it fixed wings, and I actually said to Paula at the time, do you think wings folded or wings out? And she said it'll be more imposing wings out, so she sort of chose that for me. But I've had a little itch. I'd like to see one with the wings folded. So to be honest, I saw Nigel's Modelling Bench did a review of it, and it made me, you know what, it is a really nice kit. It's one of my, in fact, it might be my favourite 148 kit that I've built so far. And when I looked at the 3 paint options, there's one there for HMS Sheffield, so that's a shipborne one. So I quite fancy doing that, and that's with the grey camouflages. So I'm thinking we might do the Sheffield one and do it wings folded, because it looks very different with the wings folded. And it gives you a bit more display space as well on your shelf. So yeah, I think we will revisit it. So that's why that's ended up back in my stash. So I ordered it from Airfix, got it 3 days later. I used my hobby points that I had outstanding and my 10% discount. I think I got it for about 35 quid with free shipping. you just can't argue with them prices, can you? So yeah, and additional 3 flying hours, which I think gives me about 36 now. I usually wait till I'm about 60 so I can get a Series 9 kit and for free and get a decent one. But this is a Series 9, so you know, it's worth saving up those flying hours, definitely. So yeah, it's a lovely kit. If you like seaplanes and you've never built it, absolutely consider it. It's a lovely, lovely, lovely model kit. Bought that myself. I'm not being sponsored by Airfix to say that. I genuinely love this kit. It was really fun to build. Really nice to go together. It's got some lovely build options. You can have the dustbin lids open and closed and things like that. And there's enough detail in it that the interior detail is good enough because you can only really see through there. I mean, I built a little map table and put a rolled up map on it and a map plotter and put all of that inside. You can just about see the map. So, you know, yeah, anyway. So that was my first stash ad. Then I added this, and I picked this up on eBay, and this is the fault of Peter Oxley, because I built this as a kid and I had no real thought to revisit it. And then Peter's done his Matchbox March videos, and I was a bit late catching up on them, to be honest, because I've been a bit behind one way or another with all sorts of stuff. So I was catching up with them after March, and one of the kits he showed that he'd built was the Humber, and he was talking about how it was his favourite. And I remember building it, and I really enjoyed building it. I had it on my shelf for a long time. And I sort of went, you know what, it'd be quite fun to rebuild that. So I had a quick look on eBay, and there was this bad boy, and it was going at a reasonable price because I think Peter Oxley has actually put the price up of Matchbox kits. What I used to be able to get for £6 are now 12 quid. So Peter, if you're listening, you've doubled the price, mate. I'm sure it's not just Peter, but he's a large culprit anyway. We'll talk about Peter a bit more in a sec. So I saw this, it was a good price, so I purchased it, and it's still in its original cellophane. It's open at one end, but when I got it, it was only open at the top. It had only perished at the top. So the box had never been opened. I actually undid the rest of it so I could open the box and go in, because I don't buy kits for collecting them, I buy kits to build. That's the intention, even if that never happens. So yeah, and it's a lovely little thing. Now, if you've not watched Peter's channel and you like Matchbox kits, then absolutely you've got to go and see his channel. If I remember, I'll put a link down to his channel, but I think most people that watch me probably know Peter as well. Now then, I've also bought another Matchbox kit which has actually arrived, but I'm going to show it you next week and we'll talk about it next week. But that's one that I'm going to do Peter a solid with. But watch next week where we've got what in my view is the ultimate Matchbox kit. We'll talk about that and talk about our friend of the channel Peter and what we're going to do with it. Okay, now then, coming back to this, when I bought this, when it arrived, and it arrived quickly, I got a little business card in there. Too many to make. I thought, well, yeah, I understand that. And he basically is selling off over 2,000 kits, this guy, and you can email him for a PDF. So I emailed him and asked him for the PDF, and as a result I bought another kit, which you'll see in a future episode of Table Talk, no doubt, because I should get that today or tomorrow. Anyway, chatting with him, it turns out, you know, he's got some medical issues, arthritis and other more severe stuff, which means that his plan of retiring to build model kits isn't going to go as he had hoped. So he's having to give up his hobby effectively, which is terrible. So I chatted to him, and what I've said is I will give him a shout out. So he's got loads of kits, especially, I mean, he's got vehicles and he's got ships, but predominantly aircraft. So if you like your aircraft, he's worth checking out. He's got some rare stuff as well, and he's got quite a bit of aftermarket stuff that he's selling separately. So I will read out this email address, but I will put it in the chat, in the comments below. It's Fraser, Fraser 299 at hotmail.com. And if you drop him a line and ask for PDF of his kits, you can say you've come from Jason's channel or Modelkit Stuff or whatever you want. He knows that I'm doing this. What he will do is he'll send you 2 PDFs. One is a list of kits and one is a list of aftermarket stuff. And these are kits that he's collected over 50 years. So there's some classics in there. So yeah, do that. He can ship around about 20 kits a week. So if you do want something from him, and you know there's a lot of you that end up asking him, just bear with him because it might take him a little bit of time to process all the requests. But yeah, it's worth checking out. What he's basically doing is he's selling them on eBay. But if we can get these kits off him before they go on eBay, then you're going to get them at a better price, and he's going to get a better return on the kits that he's collected for half a century. So we're doing him a favour, and you're probably getting yourself a bargain in the deal. And I've got to say, both of these kits, I mean, this kit was probably a third cheaper, maybe a bit less, 25% cheaper than I'd ordinarily expect to buy in the condition it's in, and given that it's original artwork and what have you. And then the other one that I bought from him direct, not from eBay, I reckon I'm getting, again, about 25% off. So I wouldn't say that they're underpriced, but they're a fair price, definitely a fair price. And you know, the shipping might be cheaper because eBay aren't taking their cut and what have you. So worth checking out. So yeah, I wanted to talk about that. Okay, right then, let's talk about what's coming up next week. So this week coming Sunday, there won't be a B17 update. There just isn't enough material for me to talk about anything, to be honest. So I'm going to skip it this week. And then we'll bring it back when I've done some more on it and there's more to talk about. So we will kick the week off on Monday, and that's a review of the Gallery Swallowtail airbrush. And I've done it slightly differently this time. We have a look at the airbrush, but I also use the airbrush at the back end of the video and then give you my final view after having used it. So if I know some of you have been considering it, and I've never had a trigger airbrush before, so it's definitely one to have a look at. Interesting video. This brush comes with 3 needles. Awesome. So yeah, so that's Monday. Tuesday we've got the next installment of Endeavour 13. I can't remember what we're building in there, but it's more deck buildings, I think. So yeah, that's Tuesday. Wednesday, the first impressions is a vehicle that you've recently seen on Table Talk. I'm not going to say which one because people are trying to steal my thunder. But yeah, I've not seen many reviews for it. I have seen someone build it already, which is quite some going. Yeah, I think it would be a very interesting first impressions. I finished recording it a couple of days ago. It's a really nice kit. I know you'll enjoy it. So that's Wednesday, and then that brings us to Friday, and Friday's build will be the Matchbox Shah B2 again, and I don't know whether that's going to be 2 parts or 3 parts, to be honest, because we start painting. We've done all the construction bits, so we start painting. I imagine we're going to have 2 parts to do painting, sort of block painting, and then finishing the painting off and weathering and you know, bringing it all together. That's how I imagine it, but I can't remember how much material is because I finished recording it some time ago, actually. So I finished recording it at least 2 months ago now. So yeah, yeah, I don't know. I suspect we're on 2 videos. Well, that's Friday, so that then gets you to the next table talk. And in next week's table talk, one of the things we're going to be talking about is selling kits. So I need to reduce my stash again to make more space, and I need to be a little bit tougher with myself, because last time I went through my stash, I went, I probably won't build that, but I want that one, I want that one, I want that one, I want that one. I need to be a bit tougher with myself and be a little bit more realistic. So I'm going to be reducing my aircraft stash down quite considerably. So what I plan to do is get 3 kits every week, put them on here and sell them and say, right, this is my minimum price, and then whoever bids the most gets them. And the reason is it's money back into the channel, so I can purchase newer kits as they're being released, and we can review some new stuff rather than a fair amount of older stuff. So that's the plan. I have got some new stuff on pre-order. I've got quite a bit of pre-orders on at the moment, so it's just about generating some funds and getting some more kits to review. It generally means I make a loss on them, but at the end of the day, I make a very, very small revenue out of them on here. I enjoy doing it, and if it's a real gem, I keep it. And what I tend to do is I'll keep it, and then if they re-release it and it's got better markings or something like that, I can swap it out. And then there's some kits that I really fancied at the time, and now when I look at it, I go, well, you know, there's always something else I'm going to want to build before it. So we will see. But that will start next week. So I think that's probably it for this week. So next week we've got a really special stash ad to talk about, and we'll talk about 3 kits that I want to sell, and we'll go into a little bit more detail on that. I need to remind you that I'm still accepting photographs for the B17 build, but this is the last week. I will want to put the video together after the end of the month. So just a reminder, name of the aircraft, scale, manufacturer, and your name, please, and up to 3 pictures, and we'll build a lovely little video of everyone's work today. I have had a tiny fraction of the number of people who said they were going to build in the group build. So come on, show us where you're up to, what you've done. You know, would love to see it. And you know, how often do you get to show off your interior to people? So really nice opportunity to do that. So please do that. Right, the hobby is full of special people, and this week, of course, was no exception. So I've got some thank yous to do. Greg Hendry and Dave Evans, a massive thank you for your donations this week. Really, really helpful, and I appreciate it a lot. And you know, it's going into kits to review or products to review on the channel, keeps the cameras rolling. So thank you very much. If you'd like to donate, you can hit the link to my PayPal, which means the channel gets 100% of the money you donate. YouTube doesn't take a share. You'll find that in the commentary underneath. So just click more or read more, or whatever it says, and that'll expand it, and you'll get the links that we've talked about today as well. So there you have it. If, like me, you're a rock fan, or maybe even a fan of The Warning, I've got some highlights of the show coming up for you now. And until then, you enjoy your modelling, have a fabulous week, and I will see you very soon. Bye for now. Nice review, Jason. Thanks for another great first impressions. Always nice to start my morning off with some Modelkit stuff. Great review. Excellent review as always. Great, honest first impressions.
want to know. I'm the average boy. At the end of the day, all the time, everybody knows joy. Sorry is your enemy today. Have you heard the news that the world is in ending? It's starting again. With all the non-believers that keep on pretending that your enemy today. You got to look away from the face of your vices and please come instead with the resolution that you mind pricing. Oh, I've been waiting.
Hi, and thanks for watching. You can support the channel by hitting the like button, and if you haven't subscribed, please consider the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you don't miss any content that I put out. Modelkit Stuff is a self-funded channel, and I don't do membership or Patreon or buy me a coffee. So if you'd like to further donate to the channel and ensure the cameras keep rolling and the content keeps coming, then you can consider making a donation through my PayPal. You will find a link to that in the text below. You enjoy your modelling, and I'll see you soon.